So let's dive into something that might sound a little dry, but I promise you it's a total game changer. We're going to uncover why having a structured, methodical approach isn't just a nice to have, it's pretty much the secret weapon behind any successful project. Let's get right into it. I mean, you've probably been there, right? It's such a common story. You kick off a project, you've got this brilliant idea, the team is fired up, but then somehow it all just goes off the rails. Missed deadlines, blown budgets, it's frustrating. So what is going on? Why do so many great ideas just fizzle out? Well, here's the thing. It's almost never about a lack of talent or good intentions. The real culprit, more often than not, is just the absence of a clear plan. It's chaos pretending to be creative freedom. And that confusion, it just burns through time, money, and energy, leading straight to failure. But there's a much, much better way to get things done. And that right there is the methodical approach. The best way to think about it is like a GPS for your project. It's not about being rigid or bureaucratic. No, it's about smart planning. It's a roadmap that gives everyone clarity on where you are, where you're headed, and the best way to actually get there. This whole approach is really built on the 3 core pillars. So let's start with the first one, which is all about mastering the project. And what's so powerful here is how these 3 things just flow into each other. When you have a clear plan for your time and your resources, you naturally start cutting out waste, which directly leads to lower costs. And with that kind of clarity, you suddenly get this superpower. You can spot risks from a mile away and steer around them before they become full-blown crises. And if you want a perfect real-world example of this in action, look no further than Six Sigma. It is a super rigorous, data-driven method for basically hunting down and eliminating any little inefficiency you can find. And by optimizing every single step, companies don't just save a bit of money, they seriously boost quality and profit. It proves that a smart process is the ultimate advantage. Okay, now for our second pillar. If mastering the project is about building a solid foundation, then aiming for excellence is all about the final result. Delivering something that's genuinely exceptional. Of course, excellence starts with quality from day one. But here's the real game changer: adaptability. A strong method actually gives you the freedom to pivot when the market shifts or when customer needs change. It ensures you're making decisions based on real data and a clear framework, not just guesswork. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? That old school, rigid plan is incredibly fragile. The second something unexpected happens, boom, it breaks. But an agile method, it's designed for change. It works in these short cycles, constantly learning and adapting, which is absolutely critical in the world we live in today. Scrum is a perfect example of this. Just imagine an e-commerce company using Scrum. They don't disappear for a year to try and build the perfect website. No way. Instead, they build and release new features in these short bursts, getting real feedback from users along the way and tweaking their plan as they go. It's how they stay competitive and deliver what people actually want. All right, and that brings us to our third and final pillar, aligning the teams. Because let's be honest, even the most brilliant plan on earth is going to fail if your people aren't working together. See, a methodical approach brings clarity. It's like a universal language for the team. When everybody understands their role and exactly how it fits into the bigger picture, communication just gets better, the project stays perfectly aligned with the company's strategy, and all your stakeholders, from the coders to the investors, stay happy and in the loop. Think about a company trying to launch a new CRM system. Without a clear method, you've got sales, tech, and customer service all in their own little world with totally conflicting ideas. It's a mess. But with a methodical approach, everyone is aligned, the communication flows, and they are all pushing towards the exact same well-defined goal. So, we've laid out the pillars, master the project, aim for excellence, and align the teams. It sounds great in theory, right? But does this stuff actually work out there in the real world? Oh yeah, let's look at the proof. Let's talk about Toyota. They did not just get lucky. By pioneering the Lean Six Sigma method, they absolutely mastered their project. That's our first pillar. They became obsessed with eliminating every tiny bit of waste, which in turn allowed them to aim for excellence, our second pillar, and become the literal gold standard for quality. Their method was their advantage. Or how about Apple? In the ridiculously fast-paced world of tech, their agile approach was the key to aiming for excellence. It's what allowed them to adapt and iterate on the iPhone almost instantly. And that same process made sure their massive, complex teams were perfectly aligned. That's our third pillar,
all working together to innovate at lightning speed.
And this quote right here, it really just hits the nail on the head. A methodical approach isn't just a checklist for finishing projects. It fundamentally changes how a company operates, how it competes, and how it innovates. It builds a true culture of excellence. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. In a world that is jam-packed with brilliant ideas, maybe the ultimate advantage isn't the idea itself. Maybe it's the disciplined, the adaptable, and the methodical way you bring that idea to life. So ask yourself, what if your method was your single greatest competitive asset?